ask your friend, have them ask for you, what does self-care mean for you? And have that conversation with your girlfriends or your partner or whoever will help you have that honest conversation and support you in creating that definition for yourself of what is self-care.
Two voices in the kitchen light, laughing while the day unwinds, talking through the tangled lines. You and me, we're on your side, asking for a friend. We've all been there, it's fine. Corey and Rosanne, saying what's on your mind. A little heart, a little mess, and the truth in the end. You're never on your own, you're just asking for a friend. Asking for a friend.
Hi.
Hey, Corey, what's up, girl?
What's up? Oh, just, laughing at ourselves over here.
Oh, my gosh.
This is probably going to shock you. Hold on to your chair, but
Okay.
I have a question. I have a question. Asking for a friend. Our last conversation, we touched on caregiving and what a gift that can be to be able to care for a parent that is on their way to say goodbye to us. And you and I have both been caregivers in different capacities, right?
A gazillion capacities,
A gazillion
right?
capacities. And along the way, no matter what that caregiving role was for us in the moment, we struggled with, what do you do for self-care? And we would lean on each other. How do you take care of yourself? Give me some advice. Give me some help. What does self-care look like to you as somebody who's been a caregiver and somebody who takes care of clients and patients that are going through the same thing? So as a therapist as well, what does self-care mean?
Girl, that's a freaking question. Wow, there's a lot.
There's a lot in there.
There's a lot. Where do
You
we
have the floor.
Where- Is the therapist in, or
That's
I
up
don't
to
know. That's a
you.
good question right now.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
How do you want to tackle
I don't know.
that first?
Self-care is something that I love to talk about. I love to talk about because it's so very important. There's such this everyone talks about self-care these days, right?
Yeah.
And you got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it. But I think for a lot of us, we don't even know what that is. We might be able to kind of identify, self-care, that means what, taking a nap or going on a walk or, putting makeup on in the morning, if that's something that's your thing, or going and getting your favorite coffee drink or something. Yeah, those are all self-care, right? A day at the spa, which it's kind of a crock because really, is it realistic? No.
No.
Right. And often at times people will think that it's not realistic for me because there's not enough time in the day, because everybody needs me. We break that down even further and think about that belief that, yes, everybody needs you, everybody needs me, but that means, if I go with that, that means that everybody else is more important than me. And if that is truth, then it means that I'm not important. And so unless the core belief that you are not only important, but that you are deserving and that you are your worth is important, all of those come from self-love. And if you don't have self-love, there is no self-care. Because it will always be this thing that's just out of your reach. It's going to be elusive. It's going to be, it's the idea is great, it's important, but not for me. I've got these kids that need me. I've got my husband that needs me. I've got my work responsibilities that need me. I have my oftentimes, in people that are in the season of life that we are in will also have their aging parents that need me. And when you're in that sandwich generation, I don't know if we made mention of that before, but it's a real thing where we are in between that our parents need us and our kids need us at whatever level. There literally is no time for us.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I answered that question. I think I made the question even harder to answer.
No, I don't think so. I think you normalized it for me because I used to say people that say you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others, they've never done it.
No.
They've never tried. My definition of self-care was getting one more day of dirty hair without dry shampoo. That was self-care.
Yeah.
And eventually, as my dad started to decline, I started to wake up earlier every day until eventually I was up about an hour before I normally would be.
Corey, give a little bit of context about that piece, about the expectation that was on you. It's kind of funny that you're laughing at the end of your father's life.
Yeah.
There's this giggle.
There's a giggle. Yeah. I put it on myself to some extent to think I could keep everyone happy and everything going because I am a people pleaser. But
it's a role of your it's also the role in your family you take.
It's definitely the role in my family. And one of our other besties, Alicia, we always call it go mode. I would just be in go mode. Maybe I'd call her on the way to the emergency room and where are you? Like what stage are you in? I'm in go mode. Just got to go. Just got to go deal with this. I'll deal with everything else I left behind at home or with my home office later. I'm in go mode for my dad because that was the most time sensitive place I needed to be. So I called it a constant state of distraction. If I was with my dad, I was worried I wasn't getting things done at home. I wasn't spending time with my husband. I wasn't getting my work done. If I was at work, even if I was in meetings, the ringer had to stay on because I never knew when my mom was going to call. So I was living in a constant state of distraction. Some of it self-inflicted because like most of my stress, it's self-inflicted. But it was also that was placed on me. I'm the only daughter. I'm the only play a nurse on TV member of my family.
Yeah, you're really good at that too.
Thank you.
You really
Thank
are.
you. I'd like to be not so good.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not necessarily a compliment.
Yeah. It's a curse and a blessing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's both of those things. So I really was the only caregiving member of the family. So it really did fall on me for a number of reasons, and I was happy to do it, even if it meant sleep deprivation and it meant a little bit of stress and here's another day I'm unreliable in another area. It was important to me to be there for my dad and provide a sense of calm for him when things were chaotic.
I remember during that time we would go on walks.
Yes.
Right? We would do the walk around the lake.
Yep.
And I can viscerally feel that experience and how you would come and you were heavy. You were heavy because you had been holding so much and keeping your head up and shoulders back but inside you were really
a bucket of mashed potatoes.
I was going to say losing it. I wanted to say that in the nicest way possible.
You don't need to be the nicest way possible with me. That was the reality.
Yeah.
That was the reality.
I felt like those times where you came into those connections so much needing that, but you were like the shaken soda bottle.
And then you dropped a Mento in?
Yeah. Exactly. Or Pop Rocks. Remember?
Oh, Pop Rocks. Oh, those were amazing.
Remember that experience?
I saw 7-Eleven
Yeah.
on the way here today. Might have to stop for some pop rocks.
Do they?
Does that fall under self-care, asking for a friend to stop at 7-Eleven and get some old school candy?
I don't know. In that, what we were just talking about, drinking like soda and Pop Rocks, I think that's more of a like a self-inflicted kind of pain.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm
I digress.
sorry, I digress. Well, what the fuck were we talking about?
Wait, squirrel.
Right. But it is that like you would come and I didn't know what to do with you. Like, not that it was my job to kind of fix you, but there was this, you were like this balloon that had been like so blown up. And not that you needed to be popped, but you definitely needed to be vented. You needed to open that valve a little bit. And of course, I mean, it wasn't just the Corey show and, you're just dealing with all of your stuff. It would go back and forth, but it really felt, I don't know if you recognize that and hopefully that wasn't just, and again, we talk about this, you guys that are watching this and listening to this, it can feel like, oh, one more thing I got to do is go and hang out with someone. It might
That's
feel
probably how you felt about me calling.
and that's something we really want to talk about too, is our relationships, our friendships and things like that. And I think that'll probably have to be another episode, but that's a big one. But once you're there, it's like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I did this.
Yes.
And even on the receiving end or the hearing end, it's helpful because there's always something inside of there for the other person. And so oftentimes we don't want to share what we need and get what we need and ask for what we need because we're worried about what other people are going to think about us. Or they've got enough on their plate. And again, that goes back to that mentality. And I'm sorry I'm talking a lot this time. But it goes back to that mentality of I'm not as important as the other person. So I think once we can really understand the importance of checking that thought, that belief, that's what's going to unlock the ability to step into, I need some self-care here. Whether or not it's, that the kids are lacking of a mother in that moment, or a husband is dealing with his stuff without his partner, you're not strong enough to hold everything.
Nobody is.
No. There's this invisible load that we hold.
I'm going back to those walks as well. And almost every single one of them, you would ask me, what are you doing for yourself? And I think usually I said, I'm here today. I'm making this space and this time. And that was probably what I did. The self-deprecating side of me probably went to that whole dry shampoo thing. And, I decided to shave half a leg today. I was feeling pretty spicy. That's what I did. I flossed.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
mean, it's important. So, yeah, I think you were always asking me that, and I never had a good answer outside of being here with you today. So that was clearly important enough and beneficial enough that I made the space and made the time for that.
Yeah.
So I do thank you for that, because it clearly was so important for me to have that in that moment of, I need to talk to somebody who has done this, who understands it, who, can maybe, I'm flipping the therapist is in sign, maybe give me some professional advice, maybe not, depending on the day. That was essential to me. And I think how I define self-care changed at every phase of my dad getting sicker and sicker. So eventually it became waking up early and having that quiet time in the house to get my chores done, to, feel like I had my day in order, take my shower, shave that half a leg, throw some dry shampoo on, maybe floss a couple of teeth, whatever that might be.
Because how did doing those things, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel that no matter where the day went, I was okay with it. That if my dad was going to end up in the emergency room that day, at least the laundry was in the dryer. Probably not put away, but at least it was in the dryer. And I had taken care of my own chores. I had cleared my head of my responsibilities with the house.
Could I suggest an possible alternate piece to this that maybe, here we go.
Therapist is in.
Feeling a little.
Oh, I said something.
Guidance.
Oh, I said, yeah. What did I say?
What did you say? I would suggest that it wasn't just Corey checking off things off of her list. And it's like, okay, which is important. I'm okay if I can get these things done, right? But those things are part of who you are.
Yes.
And by you taking that space before the day hits you, you're reminding yourself who you are. So you can take her with you into all of this trauma and tragedy and pain and grief. And you don't ever forget who you are in there, because those things don't define us. They're things that happen to us. But if you can always remember who you are underneath there, you can get through anything. And that's the importance of self-care. That is the importance of knowing your worth so that you can say yes to yourself first, even if it means saying no to someone else. Because the opposite of that, if you don't do it, it creates resentments to everybody around you of why I'm not able to. I don't got time. You need me. You need me. You need me. But the reality is you do that. That's very self-imposed, not just you. We all do that. So that's that part where we have to start making these shifts in how we think.
Self-care is not selfish. Yes. Right? It's not selfish. Yeah. And
say it till you believe it, Corey.
Until you believe it. Put it on my mirror and lipstick. Mm-hmm. And that your definition of self-care will change based on your set of circumstances. Yeah. And that's okay too. Yeah.
And again, along with resentment, you get this emotional burnout.
Oh,
right? Which then means that you are not helpful to anybody.
No, absolutely not.
And that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about not being able to be there for other people.
Yeah. It's finding a way to be there for yourself so that you can be there for other people, and finding out what that is. So ask your friend, have them ask for you, what does self-care mean for you? And have that conversation with your girlfriends or your partner or whoever will help you have that honest conversation and support you in creating that definition for yourself of what is self-care.
I think that we can kind of, as we're wrapping up here, this idea of people might be feeling, well, what does it look like? You guys talking about this, talking about that. I don't have time, blah, 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 all those things. Yes. Appreciate those thoughts and those worries. So making a kind of a bit of a list, saying no without over explaining. No is a complete sentence. It's okay to say no to others when you're saying yes to yourself. Like Corey was explaining, taking a couple minutes, taking 15, 20 minutes, if you can do that first thing in the morning, that's such a wonderful time because it sets that intention for the day that that's what you do. And so that if you are feeling overwhelmed throughout the day, you've already made it something that's important to you. So that means it's accessible to you. So you can step away and say, hey, I need to take 5.
Agreed.
Or 1.
Or 1.
Right.
Yes.
And that's good too. That's absolutely good too.
All this is really motivating me. So I gotta go. I gotta go get myself a mani-pedi or something because I'm inspired. I'm motivated. Let's go get something done.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate this conversation
Yeah, it was a
because
good one.
I do think we need to normalize it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think we need to normalize it. So we touched a little bit on the importance of friendship and how that has gotten us through self-care. You know, so we're kind of joking, oh, let's wrap it up and go get a mani-pedi. But I do want to talk about how important our friends are in that process, because you were so available to me at a time that you also had so much going on. And we kept each other going. And almost every time we had these walks, we would both learn something from each other. So it wasn't
that's so true.
just making that time in that space to have self-care in that moment, to do something that wasn't work, wasn't home, wasn't an aging parent. It was time with our friends. That was such an important piece of getting through and not having resentment and emotional, what did you call it? Emotional exhaustion or?
Burnout.
Emotional burnout. So that really helped me do that. When you talk to people, how important is that presence of friendship when it comes to self-care and avoiding burnout, avoiding resentment? Is that something you would give therapeutic advice to, of make space for your friends? Or do you think that's more of is that a different conversation? I guess I should ask. Is that part of the self-care conversation? Because for you and I, that was a very important piece for us. Is that how everybody kind of feels about it?
It should be how everybody else feels about it. Unfortunately, not everyone has made space for their friendships and those relationships, and they're very therapeutic. They can be very curative, and so it is definitely a place that needs to be focused on. It's a place that needs to be watered and fertilized, because as women, not to say that men need their friends too, but we often are talking to women. It's a place to come back to yourself. It's a reminder of who you are, right? And that is something that is at the heart of all of this. That, again, going back to that place of, this comes from self-love. And when we know that we are amazing and that we love that, we love ourselves, and we're going to want to be reminded of that. And so
I'm thinking about our high school group text, and almost every time all 5 of us are together, somebody says, I feel like me again.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
So
one of the follow-up texts.
Yes, one of the follow-up. That was
Thanks
so
for
great.
reminding me.
Yes. I feel like myself again. I mean, so whatever that definition of self-care, or whoever can bring that to you, it's not selfish to make that time in that space when it has that kind of powerful meaning and outcome for anyone. So, buy yourself another bottle of dry shampoo. I am not going to judge. Make time for your friends. Go get that mani-pedi. Go take a walk. Go have 5 minutes of quiet time, or get up 5 minutes early just to have that moment to maybe, stretch your body for a second, or, be able to stand in the shower for an extra minute with just quiet, whatever that is.
And asking for help is so very important, right?
But why is that so difficult?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a very, very good question. Remember, this is like, you're allowed to be, this is not about not being a deeply caring person. We're not saying stop being her.
I'm
It's
glad you say that. Yeah.
learning how to not abandon yourself in the process.
And it's so important. That was so important for me because what made me good for my dad and to help my mom was just showing up as me and finding out that getting up that hour early every day so that no matter what hit the fan, I could show up and be myself. It wasn't just for self-care and to be able to clear my head of all the responsibilities I had in a day, but it meant that if I needed to meet them at the emergency room, I could focus and be present and be there for him.
Yeah.
Didn't mean I left my laptop at home. I was probably taking it with me because he would sleep. So got to take advantage of that. But it did allow me
Time
to
management.
Yes,
So efficient.
yes.
Yeah.
Got to have that checklist. It did allow me to just be there. And I don't think I realized it at the time. I'm realizing it right now. That self-care allowed me to be selfless for him.
Well, say that again.
That self-care that I gave myself,
Yeah.
that extra hour a day, allowed me to be selfless for him. Right? That it was this selfless moment of, I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be what you need. And it wasn't about me having to be a people pleaser or be the hero or be the, I'm going to step in because I play a nurse on TV. It was truly this selfless act of kindness and duty and love.
And I think ending with that, especially if anyone is going through at the same time the loss of a parent, because that's a whole nother layer and a very, very thick layer. So it's imperative. I don't even want to say it's important. It's necessary. It cannot be a something that is like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. It's imperative that you do self-care when you are caring for a parent, especially in the very end of their life, because you're dealing with your grief and your loss too. So we will absolutely dig deep into that in a future conversation.
On more than one occasion, no doubt. No doubt.
So this was a really good conversation, Corey. And I think
you.
an important one. I'm going to be thinking about it for a while because
Yeah.
there's a lot
It
to be
stays
said.
with us. We still have grief. It's maybe not as actively being processed, but it's still there. And this is such a good reminder. I still have one parent, so this is a good reminder for me that, I will face this again and I need to make space for myself, for my friends, and find my definition of self-care when that moment comes and know that it is not selfish. It's imperative for me to have that so that I can be present for her when the time comes.
Yeah.
So thank you for the reminder. And hey, thanks for all those walks. Maybe that's why my foot hurts so much. Maybe, again, I am the cause of all my own stress.
No, our bodies need that. They need to move.
Well, thanks for all the walks. Yeah. Mani-pedi,
Anytime.
self-care.
I love it.
Okay, let's go do it.
Okay.
Thanks for being with me today.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.
Got a question on your mind, little tangle hard to find. Pull up a chair, let's unwind. We'll talk it out together. We're just asking for a friend. Corey and Rosanne again. Laugh it off, learn as we go, turning I don't know into ooh. Now I get it in the end. Yeah, we're asking for a friend. Big dreams every day, miss. Tiny wins, heavy stress. Pour it out, you'll feel less alone in looking for a